It is 8 a.m. and we are at LaGuardia's Marine Air Terminal on our way to Boston using JetBlue.
If you are in need of a disposable mask or have any questions, please see one of us at gate number 2.
So you may be wondering, why JetBlue to Boston instead of Amtrak or something else? And the answer is it was cheap. So yeah, 1 hour and a half to Boston, and then we should be there. And just 40 minutes later, we're here in Boston, so it's time to find some ground transportation to the city center.
El Al Airlines, Emirates, Frontier, Henan Airlines.
So we've arrived at the Blue Line T stop, and we bought Charlie cards, so we're ready for the day. So something interesting about the Boston Blue Line is that they use overhead wires for half the route, and they use third rail for the other half. And the airport station is where that transition happens. So we've arrived at State Street Station. Now it's time to transfer to an orange line. Crossing, and now it's to find a red line towards Ashmont for our first stop of the day, the Ashmont-Mattapan high-speed line. And we're in Ashmont. Now it's time to transfer to the Ashmont-Mattapan high-speed line. The Ashmont-Mattapan high-speed line is special because it's run with PCC cars, and I thought that was pretty cool. You see PCC cars in places like San Francisco's F line, the former Route 15 in Philadelphia. I don't know if that's still a thing. It goes on and off every few years. But yeah, it's a cool little addition to the red line of Boston. Another thing that's interesting about the Ashmont-Mattapan line is that it uses island platforms, and normally when PCCs are operated, they only have doors on one side, but with island platforms, they need doors on both, so that's why the PCCs here have doors open on both sides. Just got passed. Cool. So, just got passed on the Mattapan line. So, yeah, got a little bit of time to explore before our next train that will hopefully stop for us in about 10 minutes. So after 5 seconds of Google Mapsing, I've determined that we can walk to the next station of Milton along this rather nice bike path. So that's what we're doing now. So we've alighted here at Valley Road and we're walking to Capon Road Station. And while I was on that last train, the operator told me no filming, which is still allowed by the MBTA, so I'm gonna be an interstate rebel. So some thoughts on the Ashmont-Mattapan line is that it gets really residential really fast. Right now we're walking down Capon Street towards the Capon Street subway station, T station, and yeah, it's very quiet and a stark contrast to what we saw at Ashmont. And we've arrived at Capon Street, so now we're just waiting for the train to Mattapan. It's a very, very quiet and sparse station. Reminds me of Pittsburgh. However, unlike Pittsburgh, the platforms are long enough for the entire car, and there's accessibility over there. So we're off of the Ashmont-Mattapan line, and now we're at Mattapan, so it's time to walk to the Blue Hill Avenue commuter rail station. So we've now arrived at the new Blue Hill Avenue station. I forgot when it was built, but it's okay, because I have the power of editing on my side. And we're here to catch the commuter rail that is going to take us to Boston's South Station, where we get to go play tours for a little bit. And this is the story of how we learned the hard way that the commuter rail does not open every door at every station. So because of this unfortunate incident, we are hopping on we're hopping on a bus that's going to take us to Forest Hills, and that'll take us to a Needham line that'll take us to Boston, I hope. We'll see. If that doesn't work, then the Orange line runs to Forest Hills. And we have arrived at Forest Hills. So by random stroke of luck, we came to Forest Hills at the same time as the new Orange Line train, so we get to ride this back towards downtown Boston. So my first impression of the new Orange Line trains are that they are very nice. Yeah, we got lucky, and I'm glad we're getting on this one instead of on the commuter rail. Certainly a marked difference from the normal rolling stock, which is falling apart low-key. Back Bay Station, there's another new train. So we are off the Orange Line, and yeah, it was well, it was nicer than the other cars, not shockingly. Annoyingly, we did have a lot of dwell time at every station. Like every station we waited a solid 3 or 4 minutes while the doors just beep beep beeped. So that was pretty annoying. But yeah, now we're at State and we are going to Faneuil Hall to find some food. This is such an interesting subway entrance. Like there's no indication around here that you can go to the subway from here. We got steak and cheese sandwiches. Oh, sandwich finished. Faneuil Hall left. Now we're walking to the waterfront to hop on the Charlestown ferry that'll take us to the Charlestown Naval Shipyard. Here's Boston. top deck right now. And it's nice because we're going slow and I can see the city. 10 minutes later, and we've arrived in the Charlestown Naval Shipyard, a more historic district of Boston, I suppose. So behind me is a hospital shuttle. It's a repurposed school bus. So we are currently walking from Charlestown to the Bunker Hill Monument, site of the Bunker Hill Battle. Famous American Revolution stuff. And a short while later, we're at the Bunker Hill Monument, the cross of Monument and Lexington Streets. So now the monument has been seen, it's time to find our way to MIT. And how we do that is, well, updates to follow. Shout out to the 92 for blue balling and gaslighting me. We thought we were going to get it, and then 10 minutes past its arrival time, and there is no sign of it. So now we're just walking to the orange line of the T. Bruh. 10-minute walk later, here we are at the community college orange line station. Did it without you, number 92. Traitor. After one stop at North Station because I heard that the train behind the one we were just on is actually a new train. I didn't film this train coming in at community college because I was preoccupied with filming the new train heading towards Oak Grove. Yeah, we get to ride a new train again, theoretically. Off the train at Chinatown. Got to deal with another operator who had a problem with me filming the train. Love Boston. So right now we're walking from Chinatown to Boylston in order to catch the green line. So on an unused track here at Boylston, they keep old historic streetcars on display. We ditched at Park Street, and now we're hopping the red line to MIT. So we have now arrived at Kendall, MIT. It's time to go explore the area. Bit through MIT and we come to the Grand Junction Railway, which is a cool bit of Boston railway history. First of all, it goes to the middle of the building, and second, this is the railway that connects North and South Station. Boston North and South stations aren't very well connected. They aren't, and this is the only rail line that MBTA and Amtrak can use to ferry equipment and stuff like that over the 2 terminals. So yeah, occasionally trains will come down here, and they'll make the equipment transfer between South and North stations. So now that we've seen MIT, it's time to hop on the red line. We're going to take that to South Station and switch to the silver line, which is going to take us back to the airport. Alright, we got off the South Station, transferred to the silver line, part of Boston's trolleybus network. We are off the silver line, and I feel bad for our poor driver because there are so many cars just parked in the bus lane. It's pretty sad, yeah. Getting ready to fly back to New York. Down there's Manhattan. We are back at the LaGuardia Marine Air Terminal. So now it's just time to hop on the Q48 bus, and then we'll be back in Flushing. Well, after a very long day, here we are back in Flushing. So time to give some final thoughts on today. It was cool to visit Boston and New City. A little salty over the train operators that didn't like me filming. The vibe that I got was that they were angry at me at best. But yeah, other than that, solid day. Thank you.